Hello and welcome back to today's video, where we will be discussing a 10-step guide on how to buy a property in the UK.
Whether you are a first-time buyer or a seasoned investor, navigating the UK property market can be daunting.
In this video, we will break down the entire process into 10 simple steps, giving you a clear understanding of what to expect when buying a property in the UK.
Sit back, relax, and let's get started on your journey to becoming a UK property owner.
Step number 1. Determine your budget. Before you start looking for properties, you need to figure out how much you can afford to spend. This will help you narrow down your search and avoid disappointments.
And check your credit score. Your credit score is an important factor that lenders consider when deciding whether to approve your mortgage application. Check your credit score and credit report to make sure that they are accurate and up to date. If you have a low credit score, you may need to work on improving before applying for a mortgage. We recommend you to check your credit score with a company called Check My File.
Calculate your deposit. A deposit is the amount of money you need to put down up front when buying a property. In the UK, most lenders require a deposit of at least 5% of the property's value, although some lenders may require a higher deposit. We recommend you to be prepared with at least 10% deposit if you'd like to go for a residential mortgage.
For example, when we want to buy our first property, that was a share ownership, and we want to put down 10% deposit, and our broker come back to us, asks us to, can we prepare for 15% deposit in order to pass the affordability. So we would recommend you prepare at least 10% deposit rather than 5% deposit.
So sometimes they can ask you to put a higher percent in order to enter into the affordability bracket. Another reason is because with a higher deposit, they're gonna offer you a better interest rate. Consider additional costs. In the addition to the deposit, you will need to budget for additional costs such as solicitor's fees, survey fees, and stamp duty. Stamp duty is a tax paid on properties of a certain value. You may also need to budget for moving costs and any repairs or renovation that need to be done.
About the stamp duty fee, we're going to talk about further detail in our another video. Use a mortgage calculator. A mortgage calculator can help you to estimate how much you can afford to borrow based on your income and expenses. This can give you an idea of how much you can afford to spend on a property. We recommend you to use moneyhelper.org.uk. There.
By determining your budget before you start looking for properties, you can save time and avoid disappointment. It is important to be realistic about the budget and factor in all additional costs when calculating how much you can afford to spend.
Step number 2, get a mortgage agreement in principle, also called decision in principle.
Some of you are going to say, why? Why don't we jump to the exciting part, viewing the properties already? Well, the thing is that 90% of the estate agent will ask you, do you have an agreement in principle, before they arrange a viewing for you. The reason for this is that they don't want to lose their time with clients who are not prepared to buy. They want to see that you are serious about buying a property.
Once you have an idea of how much you can afford, you should get a mortgage agreement in principle. This will give you an indication of how much a lender is willing to lend to you and what your monthly repayments will be. You can use this information to help you determine your budget when looking for properties.
Shop around for mortgages. There are many different types of mortgages available, so it's important to shop around to find the best deal for you. You can use comparison websites such as moneysupermarket.com or speak to a mortgage advisor or mortgage broker to help you find the right mortgage for you.
Gather your paperwork. To apply for a mortgage agreement in principle, you will need to provide some paperwork such as proof of income, identification documents, expenses, and credit history. Be honest and accurate when you're filling out the form.
Wait for a decision. When you have submitted your application, the lender will review it and make a decision. This can take anywhere from a few hours to a few days. If your application is approved, you will receive a mortgage agreement in principle.
It's important to remember that a mortgage agreement in principle is not a guarantee that you will approve for a mortgage. You will still need to go through a full mortgage application process before your mortgage is approved.
Step number 3. Start your property search. Now you can have an idea of how much you can afford. You can start looking for properties. You can search online on the websites such as Rightmove or Zoopla, or straight away go to the estate agents.
And also make a list of your requirements. Before you start looking for properties, make a list of your requirements such as the number of bedrooms, location, and the price range. This will help you narrow down your research and avoid wasting time looking at properties that don't meet your needs.
And now we go to the exciting part. View the properties. Once you have found some properties that meet your requirements, arrange to view them in person. Take your time to look around the property and ask questions about anything that you are unsure about.
Consider the location. The location of the property is an important factor to consider. Property lesson number 1. Location, location, location. Think about factors such as local amenities, transportation link, and schools if you have children. Get a survey. Before making an offer on a property, it's a good idea to get a survey. This will highlight any potential issues with the property, such as damp or structural problems, and can help you negotiate a lower price if necessary.
Step number 5. Make an offer. If you have found a property that you like, make an offer. This can be done through an estate agent or directly with the seller. Make sure you have a clear understanding of the terms of the sale, such as price, any fixtures and fittings that are included, and the completion date.
By taking your time to find the right property and carry out due diligence, you can avoid potential issues and find a property that meets your needs and budget. Don't rush into making an offer, and make sure you understand terms of the sale before proceeding.
Step number 6. Hire a solicitor or conveyancer. You need a solicitor or conveyancer to handle the legal work of buying a property. They will handle the paperwork and make sure everything is legal.
Research and choose a solicitor or conveyancer. Look for a solicitor or conveyancer who is experienced in property transactions and has a good reputation. You can ask for recommendations from friends and family, or search online for local firms. For example, Trustpilot reviews. We can't recommend our solicitor because we have really bad experience.
Before hiring a solicitor, make sure that you understand their fees and the services they provide. Get a written quote that outlines all the costs involved, including legal fees, search fees, and any other expenses. Have in mind that not all of the fees could be outlined from the beginning. There could be fees that even your solicitor is not aware about and will occur later on in the process.
For example, we have a charge for almost £1,000 set up by the management agency for creating a few documents for us as a new owners.
Once you have chosen a solicitor or conveyancer, provide them with the details of the properties you are purchasing and the purchase price. They will need this information to start the legal work.
Review and sign the contract. Your solicitor or conveyancer will prepare a contract for the sales of the property, which you need to review and sign. They will also carry out searches to check for any issues that could affect the property or the purchase.
Once you have signed the contract, you will need to transfer the deposit to your solicitor or conveyancer. They will hold the deposit in a separate account until the completion of the sale. So that's not always the case. In our case, we had to transfer the deposits just before exchanging the contracts.
Step number 7. Exchange contracts. When both parties are ready to proceed with the purchase, which means like all the inquiries are satisfied, you and the seller will exchange contracts. This is when the sale becomes legally binding and you will need to pay the deposit.
Step number 9. Complete the purchase. On the agreed completion date, your solicitor or conveyancer will transfer the remaining balance of the purchase price to the seller's solicitor. They will also handle the transfer of ownership and ensure that the legal requirements are met.
Okay, final step. Move in. Congratulations. You are now a homeowner if you pass all of the steps. and it may take like longer, it may take shorter, it depends on the situation. You can now move into your new home and start making it your own.
It's important to note that this is just a general guide and the process can vary depending on the property and the circumstances. It's always a good idea to seek advice from a professional such as solicitor or financial advisor when buying your first home. If you have any questions about the steps we discussed today, please let us know in the comment sections and we'll try to reply to every question.
If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, and then this will encourage us to make more videos like this.
Also hit the subscribe button if you find the value in this video. Thank you very much for watching.
See you next time.
Bye. This is step number 5.
Okay.
Who is this? Hello?
喂，你好。
喂？
喂，女士您好，我这里是国家统计。
What you were saying?
I didn't get it.